Little is a former boxer, now 79 years old and in custody in California. His claims are not new, but tonight the FBI is calling Little the worst U.S. serial killer ever.
At first, the FBI were wary of Samuel Little's claim that he'd killed 93 people. Now, they say they do believe him, confirming him as America's most prolific serial killer.
One of the country's most prolific serial killers, now linked to Florida. New tonight, the new mission to see if he had any more victims in our own backyard.
James B. Holland with the Texas Rangers interviewing Samuel Little, the Palmdale Prison Unit, California Bureau of Corrections, Thursday, May 17th, 2018 at 10:21 a.m.
When do you think is the first time you had a killing?
1970.
1970. Do you remember the first one?
Years.
Yeah.
People had around Nick, and that was it. She evidently wanted this to happen, you know. She evidently wanted this to happen, you know.
Samuel Little, now known as America's most prolific serial killer, claims to have murdered 93 women all across America. Samuel Little is suspected to have killed between 100 to 200 women. His admissions of guilt through eerie confessions are graphic, spine-chilling, and sinister. If you search his interviews and admissions in which he admits guilt to many of these heinous crimes, exclusively committed against women over a period of most likely 40 years, if you search for these on YouTube, you will find video and audio footage of Samuel recanting his morbid tales of depravity, degeneracy, and wickedness. As Samuel lays back chuckling to himself about past murderous endeavors, we see the face of a man without regret, without remorse, and bear witness to a man who believes that this was all a game. The strangest thing about Samuel, other than the standard enjoyment serial killers seem to indulge in when admitting guilt as they harken back to their awful bloody crimes, is that he bears no hatred for his past victims, or seemingly doesn't anyway. He describes his feelings towards them as love, and even describes them as his babies. So how is it this man, Samuel Little, was able to carry out this horrifically high number of murders while staying almost undetected for so long? Who is this person who states that he loves his female victims? Where did he come from? Why did he commit so many acts of what normal people would describe as hate? And what else can we learn about America's newest, most prolific serial killer to date? Born on the 7th of June 1940 in Reynolds, Georgia, to a prostitute, according to Samuel. Born inside a prison, according to investigators, Samuel claims his mother abandoned him and was subsequently raised by his grandmother. His first crimes were mostly breaking and entering, assault, fraud, shoplifting, and false imprisonment. Samuel spent time in Juvenile Offenders Institute as expected, and later in his early 20s, Samuel Little would be arrested for kidnapping, beating, and strangling, and would serve just 2.5 years for attempted murder. Throughout his 40-year reign, Little would target many women, usually choosing to knock out black women using his boxing experience obtained from his youth, and then strangling them to death. Choosing to target sex workers and drug addicts mostly meant that Samuel was able to fool investigators time and again due to lack of struggle, and the women's backgrounds usually meant they didn't have family, friends, or really anyone who cared about them. Samuel Little had a very specific mode of killing, his obsession that he developed from an early age: strangulation.
Not even like this.
So why do you think you became what you are?
You know what? I try to trace back to when I became attracted to a woman's throat.
Right.
I remember going to school in Lorraine, but I noticed that when I was in school, 4 or 5 years old, the teachers met. She turned me on, made me dick hard.
What is bizarre to me is that Samuel seems to have a near photographic memory. He can seemingly describe each murder in detail to the point where he has been able to draw his victims' faces from memory. Samuel's confessions have resulted in many an unsolved murder mystery too. Sam describes his first murder here.
Thursday, May 17th, 2018 at 10:21 a.m.
When do you think is the first time you had a killing?
1970.
1970. Do you remember the first one?
2 years.
Yeah.
Put my hand around her neck, and that was it. She evidently wanted this to happen, you know.
So how long after the first one before you did the second one?
About a month, too.
So you're going pretty quick.
Yeah, man.
How'd you kill her? What happened?
Same procedure. I kissed her and everything. I kissed her on. I said, what you do if I strangle you? Ain't much I could do. You really bless her heart.
He has so far, at least from what I can tell, confessed to 90 murders that the FBI is in the process of confirming, although different news sources give different data. It is believed that Samuel Little is a sexually motivated serial killer, and this is unsurprising considering that he chose strangulation as his typical MO, and solely women as his targets.
Not feeling like this.
So why do you think you became what you are?
You know what? I try to trace back to when I became attracted to a woman's throat.
Right.
I remember going to school in Lorraine, but I noticed that when I was in school, 4 or 5 years old, the teachers met. She turned me on, made me dick hard. I know she used to do it like this.
Oh, she'd rubber now?
She'd be teaching me, yeah. What attracted that shit to me?
How did you wait until you were 30 to do it?
Oh, just imagine it.
Imagine it was
Yeah, I didn't think it was, I was going to make it into reality.
Yeah.
I didn't go crazy on it until all of a sudden I wanted more.
Yeah.
And so I asked the good Lord, I said, why me?
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
So do you need to clear your conscience before you go? Or is that a one-way conversation with him?
So how was Samuel Little eventually caught then? Well, in September of 2012, Little was arrested on a drug charge in Kentucky and was later extradited to California. The police were able to match his DNA with 3 unsolved murder cases, initially protesting, claiming innocence, and in 2014, after some very lucky ladies were able to escape his attempts on his life, acted as witnesses, he was found guilty and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Despite many hours of attempted information extraction from Little by the FBI, in the end, it took a man by the name of Ranger James Holland, who somehow managed to get Samuel to open up and begin confessing his crimes. And through these detailed, eerie confessions, many cold cases were finally closed.
Judy, Samuel Little is a former boxer, now 79 years old and in custody in California. His claims are not new, but tonight the FBI is calling Little the worst U.S. serial killer ever. But tonight, an FBI forensic team has confirmed Little's confessions in 50 cases. In a grim and gruesome tally that even John Wayne Gacy never reached, Chicago's killer clown raped, tortured, and murdered 33 young men and boys.
So where is Samuel now? Well, Mr. Little, age 79, resides within California State Prison, suffering from diabetes and a heart condition. and I must say I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. The FBI are still to this day asking the public for assistance in providing information that may finally bring close to the remaining unsolved cold cases that are believed to be linked to Samuel Little.